So, student loan forgiveness is paused. Pause, son. Pause. In this bill, and just in general, like, I don't understand why average people side with billionaires. They're okay with Wall Street getting a bailout, but everybody else, it has to be personal responsibility. Even though, like, the personal responsibility part, the person, that's actually going to affect your community way more. It just drives me nuts.
But they're not okay with Wall Street getting a bailout. They're not okay with anybody getting a bailout except for themselves. But the reality is, you've got to realize at some point, certain decisions are going to impact you in a certain way. And that's all, right? It's not to say, oh, you should agree that doctors should get a bailout or you should agree that Wall Street should get a bailout. I don't care whether or not you agree with that. I'm just saying, understand what the consequences are and don't complain later on because you've been affected. Be careful what you wish for because you just might get it.
Hey guys, what's good? Welcome to another episode of Docs Outside the Box. I'm your host, Dr. Nee, trauma surgeon, podcaster, entrepreneur. And in this podcast, we answer all your questions about money, medicine, and what's going on in pop culture. I got my lovely co-host, my wife, my ace.
Tired,
Dr. Renee. How you doing?
Tired.
Now, you're tired. So just so everybody knows, I just got back from an 8-day straight or 9-day straight stint of locums, mainly because, I'm going to be, what do you call it? We're going to be in Ghana doing a medical mission trip. And, so I've been front loading the schedule. So I'm working hard, but she's at home with the kids, which anybody who spent a lot of time with an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old, that's hella work. And it's camp season now. So
it's camp season.
You want to throw in a little bit about what you're doing right now with them?
Well, it's camp season and it probably wouldn't be so bad except that the travel to one of the camps, because they're not in the same camp for different reasons. But
COE, share it. No, I'm teasing. No, share it. No.
But the travel back and forth is part of what makes me tired. There's not a lot of time, in the window of when I go to drop them off and then when I have to go pick them up. And I have started exercising again. So I'm still doing my walks. So by the time I get home, there's like maybe an hour or so that I can do something before I can start, getting ready for my walk. Then I walk and then maybe there's another hour. But in that time, I have to shower.
That commute is 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that commute is 45 minutes.
Shower. And then I have to go pick them up again. So honestly, if I'm looking at my day is actually maybe 2 hours that I'm not doing something else, right? That I can't, I'm not doing things potentially for the podcast, or that I am, doing things for the podcast in that 2 hours.
How long does a mailman need?
Or, shut up, me. That I'm doing stuff for the podcast, maybe 2 hours. So my day in terms of productivity to be able to do stuff without some sort of commute, either driving or walking, is like 2 hours. So I have like a 2-hour day now.
Yeah, that's not enough time. That's not enough time. Especially with all the stuff that we're doing. It's just sometimes you just need like a couple of hours by yourself.
Yeah.
Just to decompress when you specifically are sending them to camp, right? That's the whole point of you send them to camp so they have something to do. They're not watching TV. They're not on video games, even though we don't do video games, but they are doing something that gives you a little bit of some time to do something that you want to do.
Or that I need to do. It's not so much things that I want to do. It's some things that I actually need to do.
But without getting into too much semantics, the things that you want to do, need to do, things that you do.
Yeah.
Right? Without the kids being around.
Yeah. I need more than 2 hours. Yeah, I need more than 2 hours.
I get it. And people who are listening, they know, right? The parents who are listening to the show, single parents, dual parent households, but you're still a single parent. You know what I'm talking about. Hey.
Can't be a dual.
I know, but there are.
No. Let's get into that. Into it real quick.
Hold on, because there was real quick. So Nelly and Ashanti are back together.
Yes.
They have a TV show together.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
And the first episode, they're expecting a baby, or they already have a baby.
Oh, she delivered already.
Yeah, the first episode, he made it clear they're eating dinner. He makes it clear. He says, listen, Ashanti, I don't do diapers. I don't do, poop, anything like that. I'll hire anybody to help you with that process. Once the child has grown up a bit, we could throw the baseball together, all of those different things that I want to do to make sure that the kid is not pooping. I want to be there for that.
Okay.
Thoughts on that? Is she not a single mother at that point?
No, she's not a single mother. She's absolutely not. So, I don't know if we've said this on the show before, but this idea of a married single mother, right? Because the thought process is, well, but I do everything in the household. I do everything for the kids. I do all these things, right? And I'm going to tell you, there's probably only one scenario in which the married single mother, phenomenon is true.
What's that? Get to that one, because we know what you're going to say with the other one.
You don't know what I'm going to say.
Get to the point where...
So the only scenario in which that is true is if you are married to a man who is not working and who literally is just not on his way to getting a job anytime soon, has no desire to work, and he contributes nothing in terms of maintenance of the household or caring for the children. At that point, he is purely a dependent, right? He's purely a dependent. That is the only scenario in which a married single mother is true. That's the only scenario.
Look,
anything else.
Better be careful. The gig is up on these therapists trying to give all this information on the internet. So just know.
Anything else, this is my opinion. Y'all can agree, y'all can disagree. Don't matter to me. It's my opinion. Anything else is likely not true in terms of married single mother. Could you be somebody who is taking on way more of the responsibility of caring for the home, caring for the children? Absolutely. But the reason it does not make you a married single mother is because if your husband is working and is contributing to the financial well-being of the household, then you are not a married single mother. Okay. Sorry. Because me, that term really insults the fact that single mothers are out here taking on the financial burden on their own to maintain their households. They don't have another income.
So for the record, help maintain. So for the record, you've never said in the house that you feel like a single mother?
No. I've always said, I don't know how single mothers do it. That I have said. I don't know how single mothers do it. I remember when my kids were...
Renee, you under oath right now. You saying that you've never said that?
I never said that, Nee. Stop playing. So why are you potting right now?
I'm not potting because I know I have a feeling that you've said that in the past.
No, so you have a feeling.
You have.
No, I have not. I've never said that.
Guys, the reason I say that is because this woman right next to me, my co-host, my lovely co-host who I've known for well over 20 years.
Don't say lovely. Don't say lovely then move to insult me.
This woman
in the next sentence
moves in hyperbole.
I don't move in hyperbole.
She moves in hyperbole. There is no moderation. There is no medium. There's nothing like that. So when she gets frustrated about a situation,
that is
everything
not true,
gets described in its most extreme form.
That is not true.
So
I'm I'm careful with my words too. So what I have said is I don't know.
I wish people who are listening could watch on YouTube and see my face.
Do it because they have the burden of doing all of the financial maintenance of the household, and they have to take care of the children. The first time I ever said that was when we had a snowstorm and you were not home, and I had to take the kids to daycare. And I was like, okay, well, now I got this baby and this toddler, and I have to clean the car off.
What'd you say?
I'm like, how does a single mother do this? Especially if you don't have, our backyard, our car is right in the backyard. So I can just throw them in the car and just do it. But what if you live in the city? Like how I grew up in the city? You got to, go through the snow, get to your car.
Gasoline.
That's crazy. I kudos. Hats off.
Listen, before we get into this show, I do want to ask you. You want to start off on a bad
And I should
note?
say single parents, not just single mothers, because there are
Okay,
single dads
we
out
off
there.
that topic. So, do you want to start off on a bad note, or should we go?
We're already starting off on a bad note because you sitting here lying about me on the podcast.
All right. So, guys, trigger warning. I do want to talk about Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Listen, this is something that is taking a lot of people, causing some grief, causing some. Just moment to pause and stuff. And if you don't want to hear about this, we're not going to go over it for a long period of time. If you feel like you need to fast forward through this, I definitely get this. But, this weekend, Malcolm-Jamal Warner, the weekend before this, Malcolm-Jamal Warner, actor, musician, podcaster. You didn't know he had his own podcast.
I did know that.
Probably best known as Theo on the Cosby
Theo
Show.
Huxtable, yeah.
Passed away at the age of 54. He was swimming with his family on the ocean in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently this ocean or this part of the beach, rip currents, rip tides are a big deal. And something happened. He went underwater. They brought him back and, unfortunately they couldn't bring back life. So I'm just going to say this as someone like me and you grew up in the 80s and in the 90s, excuse me. I was going to age you, but 80s and the 90s that this guy definitely was a staple of what we saw on TV.
Absolutely.
Right? For me, the best TV show when I was growing up, The Cosby Show.
Absolutely.
For me, the best of the kids in terms of acting.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really appreciated his range. I was shocked when I saw this. And we're getting to that age now where our childhood, heroes or the people who we watched on TV are either, having these type of accidents, unfortunately, or are dying of natural causes because we all getting old and stuff. So,
yeah.
The one thing that I wanted to say is, I think the reason why I liked his character a lot, and I have here as a special note, the character of Theo was actually inspired by Bill Cosby's real son, Ennis, who passed away also. Mm-hmm. And, I'm not going to get into conspiracy theories, but Bill Cosby had one son. Mm-hmm. He died, tragically. And obviously he had one TV son, dies tragically.
Yeah.
But Ennis was the inspiration for Theo, who Ennis had dyslexia. Theo notably had dyslexia on the show, which he was able to overcome, become a teacher, and that's what happened at the last, several seasons on the show. So, it's
yeah, it's really, really sad. So there was a report out that gave a few more details, and apparently, his daughter was with him in the water.
Yeah.
And I guess some surfers noted that they were struggling. They were able to get the daughter out. They were able to get him out as well, but I guess he had gone under the surface long enough such that they couldn't revive. Now, there were two doctors who were on the beach.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there were two doctors on the beach who gave him CPR for over 40 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But unfortunately, he wasn't able to be revived.
Apparently, he was a really good swimmer.
Really?
He was a really good swimmer. And it lets you know if someone like him who's a really experienced swimmer, I think drowning is one of those things that we don't talk about too much. Right? We see a child, unfortunately, drown in like a backyard pool and stuff. But, whether you're experienced or you're a novice, drowning is a big deal.
Yeah.
And for someone like him, we're talking about rip current and rip tide. Like, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. And it's something that we need to talk about. I think the emergency medicine docs who are listening right now, the trauma surgeons who are listening right now, and even the critical care doctors right now. And this is something that we see a bit often, and it's something that we should share with the audience. And if anything, you know me already. What we do is we learn off of people's deaths, So for me, I just want everybody to realize how important it is for water safety training, how important it is for CPR training, AEDs. Those are super important. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about real quick is he was a big proponent of mental health, right? He, in his podcast, he talked about that in other podcasts. he talked about mental health and how it was extremely important. He really focused on mental health for men, right? Because that's another silent thing that men struggle with.
Yeah.
Particularly men from, our demographic. We don't really talk about it much for many reasons, taboo, money-wise, and a whole bunch of different things. So
that's good to see that more and more men actually are talking about it. Now, it's not, it's still got its connotations, but I think that there are more and more men who are coming out talking about their mental health issues or just talking about mental health in general, right? I mean, I know a lot of times people are like, raise the price of podcasting equipment because everybody and anybody can have a podcast where they can say and do anything. But one of, I think, the benefits of having regular price podcast equipment is that you do have men who are of our demographic, who are talking more about mental health. So I think that's been a plus.
just don't share your social stuff, like your dating stuff. Like,
What do you mean?
oh my God, yo, like the dating.
That's where to raise the price on podcasts.
The dating advice is horrible, but I got some notes real quick here about water safety tips because I'm an okay swimmer. I probably can stay afloat until someone picks me up. I'm not an experienced swimmer.
You couldn't save my life.
I couldn't save your life. You're going to have to die.
Oh my God, Nate.
Wait, if I can't swim, I don't understand.
Okay, but you ain't got to say that.
All right, listen. Swim near lifeguards whenever possible.
What kind of husband is this?
Avoid swimming alone. Always have a buddy. Don't be jumping in that pool by yourself. Don't be jumping in that
ocean.
In the ocean by yourself, guys. Have someone there who can always have clear sight of you.
Yeah.
Learn how to spot and escape rip currents. This is big, right? If you're caught, don't fight it. Swim parallel to the shore until you're out of the current, right? So a lot of times people say, well, what does it look like? I have some resources in the show notes where you can see pictures of it. But basically the rip currents are the ones where you see like the water, you see like really like white water, like the foamy water on one end, and then you see foamy water on another end, and then in between it's clear. Yeah. And it's like something is going on in that in-between area, guys. So you got to be careful about that.
Yeah.
And then the one thing I didn't know this, they showed this, I had to look this up. They showed this at the ocean or at the area that he died, the beach that he died, a red flag. I don't even know what that means. But respect warning flags and stuff conditions.
So
red flags mean don't go in, right?
Yeah, red flag. I think there's red, I think there's orange. There are flags that essentially beach officials will put up to say, here is the safety condition at this particular point in time on the beach. So yes, definitely pay attention to those warnings because a lot of times those red flags, they have to do a lot of times, I think anyway, with rip tides or rip currents. So yeah.
Yeah. Now, with mental health, I have some other notes. Listen, I have in the show notes, we have the 988 number, the crisis lifeline. Make sure you use that if you need it, right? This is for people who are struggling. If you need something to reach out to, make sure you check that out. We have the National Alliance on Mental Illness. We have a place where you can find therapists. That's Psychology Today. There's online therapy. We've worked with BetterHelp in the past, but that's a good start. And then there's griefshare.org, and that's basically where you can get support if you're grieving through something. So other things, too, is you can visit the American Red Cross safety page. That's in our show notes, as well as the National Weather Service Rip Current safety page. And that'll give you all the different pictures of the rip currents out there, what to do, videos of people who've gotten through it. So I went and checked it out myself. I learned a lot of things. So I would say check that out.
I think it's great, that we have our kids in swim classes, right? I think that's great. I think if you're able to invest in teaching your children and or yourself how to swim, I think that's good. I think, though, that there's sometimes this false confidence, and not saying in this case of Malcolm-Jamal Warner, because I have no clue, what his swim experience was. But I think that there's sometimes this false confidence that people have that because they can swim in a pool, they can swim in a lake, that they can swim in the ocean. And the ocean is a different.
Oh, it's a different
just
animal.
a different beast.
Yeah, it's a different animal.
Right? It's a different beast. And I wonder, I don't know, somebody write in, I'll look it up as well. Like, and I know that there are, you know, like surf lessons and things like that where people actually do learn better how to handle the ocean. But I wonder, like on a larger scale, are there classes that teach people how to swim in the ocean?
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Specifically.
I'm sure there are classes. I'm sure there are classes on
but
that
they're
stuff.
just not advertised as much, I don't think.
No.
At least not here on the East Coast. I don't know about the West Coast. Not here on the East Coast.
I'll say this and to just end with Malcolm-Jamal Warner, I would just definitely say, guys, like we can learn something from this. And I would say if someone you know is struggling with mental health, or let's say, for example, you just want to learn about, you know, some classes like what you're saying, you know, start there. Go to the show notes, check that out. He left us, with a lot of memories. You know, my favorite episode.
Denise!
So your favorite episode is
Gordon Gartrell.
Okay.
Gordon Gartrell. Come on.
So
hit us with it a little bit, Alfred. Give us a little Denise!
Denise! It's over, isn't it?
My favorite episode is so I'm stuck between the bacon burger dog.
Oh, bacon burger dog.
Yeah.
Bacon burger dog.
Yeah, I'm stuck between the bacon burger dog or the one where he kissed the other girl and they had to beg Justine to come back.
Oh, Justine.
Yeah. Those are my two favorite episodes. I'm not sure which one is more fun, but just a lot of memories.
Yeah. Dance Mania, that's a good one.
He touched a lot of people.
Yeah.
So guys, let's learn something from it. Make sure you check out the show notes. Get some help. If you feel like this resonated with you or you think it may resonate with someone else, share this portion of the episode with someone else. So, student loan forgiveness is paused. Pause, son. Pause. So, I know you love to do I told you so. Guys, just so you know, me and Renee have a thing going where she's always right.
Whatever, Nee.
So student loan forgiveness is paused, guys. And last week or a couple of weeks ago, I don't know when this episode is coming out, the big, beautiful bill got passed. There's an article from CBS as well as a relic in the next couple of weeks. I don't even know if this website is going to be working. NPR. Oh, shit. NPR ain't going to have no funding. So this might be the last time. This might be the last time you see NPR. So make sure you check it out. But it's a problem. We got a problem. So most of the types of student loan forgiveness programs have been put on pause for right now. We don't know how long, but it's on pause. So what I wrote down here, because it's just too much of stuff. So the bottom line is this. Save borrowers, right? SAVE borrowers. That's the plan that capped payments at 5% of your income, right? And had forgiveness completely frozen. Well, forgiveness has been completely frozen because of a court fight over the original debt relief push, right? So this was 3 or 4 years ago when Biden wanted to relieve all the debt. That stuff has been in limbo. And now people who have been in that program and have been doing, payments based off of 5% of their income, pause. We don't know if you're going to still stay in that program.
So that's the income-based repayment system?
That's a little bit different than an income-based repayment system.
Okay.
Income-based repayment borrowers, right? You guys are stuck in limbo, right? So basically, the forgiveness that you thought were coming. So people who thought that I'm going to make my payments, I just got to follow this plan that they have based off of my income.
Right. So like PSLF.
Yeah, we don't know if PSLF is going to finish.
Right.
Here's the problem, though. The problem with PSLF is, let's say you are safe and PSLF continues. If your hospital does like gender affirming surgery,
okay,
or anything that the administration deems as a problem, they have the right to take that off of
what?
Your hospital could not be eligible.
For PSLF?
Yes.
Even though it's a nonprofit?
Yes. Yes.
Jesus.
Yes. So I was, it's funny. The reason I bring this up is, this is a big thing, but I actually was I met this doctor. He's a GI doctor at my hospital, and, he wants to do locums, but he's like, I got to wait a year because this is the last year of PSLF for me.
Oh, God.
And I was like, well, this is before this, right? Before I knew
Right,
about this. So I was
right.
like, okay, that makes sense. For
Right.
me, if you've done 10 years, so the reason why...
If you're in year 9, you wait till year 10.
So the reason why some people may be like, hey, well, what do we, like, let's clarify it. You want to clarify for them or you want me to do it?
No, you do it.
So the reason why folks would not do locums if they're in PSLF is, in PSLF, you have to be working at a nonprofit hospital. Like, you have to be employed at a nonprofit hospital. When you're working as a locum tenens doctor, as an independent contractor, you ain't got no job.
You
right?
ain't employed.
You're not employed. You making money. You working as a whatever it may be specialty, but you're not employed.
Right.
So you're not going to fulfill that part of PSLF.
Yeah.
So a lot of folks who are just like, yeah, I love this. Like, I'm going to get my loans paid off, but I just want to work as a locums. They're going to be like, yeah, no, let me finish this. So that's what he was saying.
Right.
I want to get through my 10 years, 120 payments, no missed payments. Once I'm done with that and I get all of my student loans forgiven,
Oh, my God.
I'm out. So people like him, screwed. What do you do? Right? Because, you're talking about 10 payments, you're talking about 120 payments at usually like a minimum.
Right.
And then the rest of it will be forgiven.
Right.
It doesn't mean that like...
So you didn't put as much of a dent in your loans over the last 10 years as you could have if you had been paying kind of the real minimum payment.
And then the one big beautiful bill, it
boy.
phases out. It phases out the SAVE plan, the PAYE plan, ICR. I ain't going into all that. You guys got to look at all of it. We're a podcast and stuff, right? All that stuff is being phased out by 2028. Right. And it's going to be replaced by a 30-year repayment plan that takes a lifetime to finish.
Wait, what?
Yep. All those plans are gone by 2028.
No. Say the second part. Replaced by what?
It's going to be replaced by a single 30-year repayment plan.
So it's going back to what it was before.
No, it's going to the default, right?
Right.
But there was all these different plans to help you.
Right.
All of those other things are gone.
Right.
So
no income-based repayment.
No, it's going to be gone by 2028.
No PSLF potentially.
Might be out.
No save.
Might be out.
No pay.
Yep.
So essentially, it's like
you're on your own.
Right.
You're on your own. So I think there's two ways to look at this.
Wait. And also, question. This also includes that the plus loans are gone as well.
Oh, I don't know. The plus loan's gone?
I'm asking.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't look that up. If someone knows, let us know, yo.
Yeah, because I saw something about the plus loans being gone also, like Parent Plus for graduate being gone.
All I got to say is listen.
Let us know.
But
that's what I thought I saw.
If you thinking about being a doctor, if you thinking about going into medical profession, you better not let your parents put nothing in your name. Don't let your brother or your sister put that car in your name. Don't let them start that cell phone. Listen, you need your credit. Private loan lenders, they're like happy right now.
Yeah, right
they
now
are
it's
happy.
predatory. They're going to be predators.
So I'll look at it. So I was thinking about it, and I wrote this down. I was like, on one side, you're going to have people, because this is what people were saying. You have some people who are like, finally, my taxes are not going to go and subsidize someone else's student loans, right? You have people on one side
That's
who are happy
fine, but
about
when
that.
you need a doctor and there's not one available, don't be mad about it.
On the other end, you told a bunch of teachers, doctors, lawyers,
not to become those things.
No. Right now, you have them already in a plan that says, if you play by these rules, right? This is a government thing. Mm-hmm. If you play by these rules, we will forgive the rest. If you work at a nonprofit hospital, which is beneficial for the community, if you make payments and don't miss a payment, right? Then,
right.
So basically what we're saying now is, you can't trust the government. Can't trust the government.
Well, what you're saying is now you can't trust the government. You can't rely on the government. right? You can't rely on the government, right? Because governments make laws, they change laws. So you can never trust that whatever is the law today is going to be the law tomorrow. What you can't do is rely on the government, right? Because the government can change its laws at any particular point in
But
time.
I think there should be some type of retroactive type thing where you get grandfathered in and so forth. Not getting into the specifics of all that, but I do believe that there should be something that's grandfathered in. But hey,
I mean, even if there isn't, whether there is or isn't a grandfather clause, right? The reality is going forward, this is still going to rear its ugly head in some way, shape, or form. So if taxpayers who are not in these professions are like, thankfully, our taxes aren't going to student loans and X, Y, and Z and blah, blah, blah. It's like, that's fine. But, and you and I know, because we work in rural communities.
yeah.
You and I know we work in rural communities. So when you come into the hospital and when you're at an urban center now, right? Let's fast forward maybe 50 years from now if this keeps up. And now you're at an urban center and they're like, oh yeah, there's no doctor here that can do that for you. When the tertiary care hospital now is no longer a tertiary care hospital because they don't have enough doctors. They don't have enough resources to do the things that need to be done. Don't talk about, I live in New York City. How is this possible? Go back to your laws and regulations and you will see how that is possible. That's all. Just don't complain. The public just cannot complain about these things. You and I know in rural communities, people be complaining like crazy. I'm like, you did it to yourself. You did it to yourself.
Well, I think that in some way, some form of like,
they be complaining. You know they do.
If you don't invest, if you don't as a society invest in the education of the people in your society, right? Whether it's education, whether it's healthcare, like you will start to see major issues 20 years, actually 10 years, 20 years down the line, right?
Certainly 50.
So basically, if you make it really difficult to become a doctor, if you make it very difficult to be in whatever healthcare professional may be, it makes it really hard for folks to come, particularly to areas that don't pay as much or areas that are not very advantageous to be at. You make people become very strategic, right? So if you have so for the folks who are listening right now whose parents are just going to write out a check, they're like, whatever, this doesn't change anything for me.
Right.
But, if you are, and if you're just saying, look, I need to recoup my money, so I'm going to go into a specialty, right? Or I'm going to go into a non-primary care field and I'm going into the city, or I'm going into concierge medicine, or I'm going to do TikToks, which I went back and I listened to the game tape about what I was saying. And I'm going to talk about it later on in the show, but I need to revise what I'm saying. But this is part of it, right? Like if you're making more money on TikTok, if you're making more money dancing than actually operating, eventually you're going to be like, the jig is up. Why am I putting in all this time?
If you find more innovative ways in order to become, lucrative, right, in your income, then you're going to do that. And the reality is this, look, as many rich people as there are out there, they not all becoming doctors. I mean, let's just...
But I think one thing
let's just put that out there.
One thing that drives me nuts, though, about this is like, in this bill and just in general, like I don't understand why average people side with billionaires and businesses that are billionaire in quality, right? So like they're okay with Wall Street getting a bailout, right? But everybody else, anybody personally, it has to be personal responsibility.
No, they're not okay with Wall Street getting a bailout.
Even though, like, the personal responsibility part, the person, that's actually going to affect your community way more than a Wall Street bailout.
They're not
it just
okay,
drives me
but
nuts.
They're not okay with Wall Street getting a bailout. If you ask them, right, they're not okay with Wall Street getting a bailout. The problem is Wall Street is so big. It's like, well, who you fighting? Like right?
There's no individual person to look at.
There's no, exactly. Like who are you looking at, right? Whereas doctors, although, you know, doctors make up a huge group, but you can see a doctor, you interact with doctors, you know, you can touch them, you can smell them, right? Like you can see doctors and you can have an opinion on that because you feel like you're just closer to it. Right. And so they're not okay with anybody getting a bailout except for themselves. They want the bailout. Everybody wants the bailout. And I don't blame everybody for wanting the bailout. But the reality is that you know, you've got to realize at some point that certain things, certain decisions are going to impact you in a certain way. And that's all. Right? It's not to say, oh, you should agree that doctors should get a bailout or you should agree that Wall Street should get a bailout. I don't care whether or not you agree with that. I'm just saying understand what the consequences are and don't complain later on because you've been affected. It's the whole be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. And the reality is right now, the way that this thing is going is that in my vision, if this continues in this way where only, you know, people who can write out a check can actually get into the profession of medicine, one, you're going to have a lot of medical schools closing. That's number one. Because all these rich people that can write a check, I mean, you don't have that many people whose kids want to become doctors. So a lot of medical schools are going to be closing, which two means that you're going to have even further more of a physician shortage, right? Which three basically means that you're probably moving in the direction of a developing country, which I've always said that this country would love to be a developing country in some aspects. And I think that that's where you're headed.
So picture this, y'all. So this means when you graduate from college, you're going to get a coupon book that says your student loans start at the age of 22, 23. And that coupon book is basically going to say you ain't done till you 54.
Right.
50, you know, that's crazy.
Yeah, 54,
that's the time. That's the time when you're supposed to be saving up for your kids' tuition. That's the time when you're supposed to be saving up for your retirement. So in essence, you're going to be having more people reliant on, if it's even going to be out there, the safety net.
Right.
Right. The social safety net, Social Security and all those different things. That's if that's going to be there. So it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. So I think a lot of people right now are in limbo, particularly people who were using these federal financial repayment plans as part of like either their ability to invest, their ability to plan for the future, even what kind of job that they're looking at. The other thing too that we haven't talked about, we may have to say this for another episode, is the insurers for under Obamacare have all put out that insurance premiums are going to go through the roof starting January 1st. So it's just, all I got to say is this, y'all, it's a different world. A lot of stuff's going to change. A lot of stuff is going to change.
So if you were me back in, when did you graduate? 1990 or 2000. You graduated from college and this is what you have ahead of you. What would you do?
I wouldn't do anything differently. I'll tell you why. Because if I follow the path that I just followed, right, which is, guys, we didn't do any income-based repayment. We just paid off all of our debt. So I just want everybody to know, like, when you graduate, like now at least, if you graduate now, the income that you make being a physician, you're going to be able to pay off your student loans. Okay? I don't know how long it's going to take you, but you're going to be able to pay off your student loans and live comfortably at the same time. That's my opinion. I don't care what anybody has to say. You're going to be comfortable, right? The question is how are you going to get there? Are you going to get there? Well, basically now you're more than likely going to have to get there where you're going to have to pay off your entire student loan debt, right? That's what we did. The majority of students who are paying off their student loans right now are not doing that. They're doing it off of some type of PSLF or income-based. So for me right now, yeah, I'd just be like, yeah, I want to get in med school. I want to be a doctor. I'm going to pay off my loans because I didn't think of any other way to get through it right now, right? But also at the same time, what I would be more concerned about is, do I have enough credit to get through. That's where I'd be nervous, right? So this boils down to, guys, you can go back several, I don't know how many episodes where we talked about when I put out maximum for my student loans. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I took out maximum student loans every year in med school because I just didn't want to ask my parents for any money.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that, you know, that I had enough. And I'll tell you, we did not live luxurious at all. I didn't live luxurious.
No.
I don't know about you. Your rent was more than mine, but I didn't live luxurious.
$150 or $125 more than yours.
You was living in the plaza, right?
I don't live in no daggone plaza.
All right. So I took out
why do you always have to lie about something? This is what I don't understand. People, please write in and write into me.
Don't talk to my audience.
Write into me and let him know that his truth is enough. His truth is enough. And that he does not have to, you know, make up stories, you know, and just exaggerate things for you guys to appreciate him. Write him, because I feel like...
Should I look at the screen and
yes,
say it? So tell me, what should I say?
I feel like... No, you don't need to say anything, because I'm saying
Guys,
it for
my name
you.
is Dr. Nidarko, and I'm enough. I'm fine. And gosh darn it, people like me.
Because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
Yeah, that please write into him and let him know.
All right. So listen, guys. So I took out, even though we lived, the house that I lived in was, the apartment that I had was not expensive. My apartment was what?
$300.
$300 a month, right? Renee's was what?
$425.
$425. Which weird. I had the washing machine and dryer. You didn't.
Yeah. But I had an independent house. With a garage.
Yeah. But I took out the maximum amount for said reasons. You got to be really careful now. You starting from going into your pre-med years in college, y'all, you got to be real strategic. You got to make sure you're looking for scholarships. You got to make sure that you are very smart about this, because not only the student loan repayment issue, that's an issue, but there's caps on how much you can take out.
That's the problem.
So the Senate, they changed the bill a little bit and they increased how much you can take out as a med student. Right?
Do we know how much that is?
I think it's like $50,000. So if you're in med school, law school, and I forget what other profession, you can take out more than somebody else who's like, for example, let's say you had someone who wants to take student loans out for a master's degree. And then you compare that to someone who wants to take student loans out for a professional degree.
Okay.
Their maximum is like $50,000.
Okay.
The master's, I forget what it's like, but it's a difference. But if you blew your load all in college,
you're screwed.
You're going to be screwed.
Better go to them city colleges and them state colleges, but even then,
them city colleges,
they're still like.
And in New York, they think they slick. New York, we know what you're doing. So New York will basically say, was it free tuition for everybody?
What do you mean?
Remember New York, the New York SUNY schools? They say free tuition for everybody?
No, SUNY is state.
I know.
CUNY is city.
Okay, but for SUNY, right?
Okay.
Remember? Kimmy went to, like, it, basically they had a plan.
No, it wasn't free tuition. It was free housing or something like, or something
No,
like
it was free tuition, but you had to pay for housing.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was something crazy, but the housing is like,
oh, you might be right.
The housing is mad expensive. It's like $20,000.
You might be right.
So I was like, wait, how am I saving money?
Yeah, you might be right.
So all I'm just saying is, everybody, you got to be real strategic nowadays. The jig is up. You're going to have to be strategic. Which college you look at, gap years now. Guys, gap years, post-bac programs. Oh, man. Because all of that stuff counts, right?
Gotta start DIYing.
All of that stuff counts. So it's just, there's a lot of stuff that's going to change in the next several years.
Yeah.
It's going to change.
It's going to be it's going to be much more difficult for students trying to get into medical school, trying to get through medical school as well.
I want to hear from people. Seriously. I got here.
I really do.
I want to know if you are a resident right now, if you are an attending right now, and you are on this PSLF system right now, and you upset, you can leave us a voicemail.
Shout.
You can leave us a voicemail. You can even send us a text, because I want to read it. I want to read on next show.
You can use expletives too if you'd like.
Oh yeah. I'm really interested in that.
You want to anonymize yourself, you can. If you want to just call and vent and be like, I don't believe this.
But how about people? But what about people who actually are on the other side? I want to hear from them too. You?
The people on the other side
who are like, I want my taxes to pay off these mugs. What do you call it? Student loans subsidized. I want to hear from them.
We'll hear from everybody.
So
we'll hear from everybody.
So if you are in support of this, write us in, send us a voicemail. If you're not in support of this and you feel betrayed, if you feel like you got, whatever, let us know.
Screwed
also.
over.
I
want to hear from the potential medical students. Actually, medical students and potential medical students, those who are like applying this year or got their acceptances and are just waiting to start school.
Yeah. Team responsibility versus team broken promises. That's what I got.
Yeah.
Which side are you on? Yeah, man. It's a lot. It's a lot. All right. Actually, so I do have a question for you as somebody who has been involved in a federal student loan program in many different ways, right?
What do you mean?
You've taken out loans in college, right?
Okay.
You took out federal loans in med school, right?
Yeah.
So you're part of the federal student loan program.
Okay.
Right? Whether it's subsidized or unsubsidized.
Okay.
So you've benefited from that.
Yes.
In some form or fashion, right?
Yes.
But you paid off your student loans the traditional way, if not an accelerated traditional way.
Yes.
Are you split anyway about this?
I think that people should have the option of either paying the way we did traditionally, and I think the government should help to subsidize. I think that option should exist.
You mean there should be forgiveness?
Yeah, there should be forgiveness. There should be loan forgiveness. Just because I, didn't benefit from something doesn't mean that somebody else shouldn't benefit from it, right? Like, I can't stand people who live in society like that. Well, I didn't get it, so why does everybody else get it? I'm like, that is such a selfish way to go about living, right? Because there's always going to be, whether it's student loans, whether it's, somebody won a new car, whether it's, whatever it is, there is always going to be someone who benefits from something that you didn't benefit from. Shoot, the person in front of you can have a coupon that you didn't have for the same damn product that you have at the supermarket. Now all of a sudden this person should pay full price. Like, for me, this just doesn't make sense. Like, how do you live in a society with that kind of thought process?
So what do you think I think the worst one will be not the PSLF, not the income-based repayment. The issue will be the caps on how much student loans you can take out. I think that's going to be the bigger issue because I think that's going to turn people off more. That basically is, if you want to talk about gatekeeping, I think that is as obvious and
you
as
won't be able
blatant
to even get the
as
loan.
gatekeeping as you can get with that. So that for me is the bigger issue. I think for doctors in particular, you're going to be able to pay off your student loans. However, it's going to be more of a problem for those, because you remember like 3 years ago, we were at AOA, and there was a student who was graduating with $400,000 of student loan debt. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. But, yeah, I think the caps are going to be much more of a problem because that's going to be the thing that determines whether or not you can even get through the door, right? So you'll have an acceptance in your hand, and then they'll say, hey, pay this tuition, and you'll be like, I can't. And that's it. Right? So, yeah, I agree with you that that's going to be more of a problem. Now we're going to be talking about getting paid on TikTok as a doc instead of going to work and hitting that clock. Hey.
Don't rap, please.
I thought that was pretty good.
I have some raps. Hold on. Let me share some raps.
Please don't rap.
Let me share some raps with you.
Don't rap. Just go into making money on TikTok as a doctor.
We're going to talk about this. So, first of all, let me just be clear, everyone.
Here we go.
We've already talked about this TikTok doctor. This is an OB-GYN doc who's on TikTok.
Yes.
She's making more on TikTok than she is as an OB doc, right?
Yes.
Which I went back, I listened to the tape, and I was like, man, I was him.
With less liability.
I was him and hawing about it, and I was like, yo, I need to make a point.
And she's got less liability than delivering babies.
Hold on a second. I want to share something with you.
What? Please don't rap.
Hold on, man. I need to rap. Hold
My
on.
God. Help.
Well, anyway, I can't find it, but
Thank God.
I do want to say this.
The universe loves me.
The thing that I didn't present, so we talked about it, right? Mm-hmm. But I didn't say specifically what my issue is with this.
Okay,
right?
what's your issue?
My issue with this is it's not her. It's the actual system that, like, the fact that you can, and she's not dancing on TikTok, but in essence, she could be dancing for TikTok.
Well, there was a doctor who was dancing on TikTok at one particular
But the
point
fact
in
that
time.
she's on TikTok and she's making more than what it takes to, in essence, work with someone or take care of, bring new life, work with an actual human being, be in a hospital. She's getting paid more to make a 30-second video than to take care of someone. That to me, that's an indictment on our healthcare system. You know,
Why?
because
Why?
I think it's a problem. What's the best way I could say it without coming off too, like, I don't like, you know me, Aaron, I don't like to be
Don't
polarizing.
choose your words wisely. Go ahead, be polarizing. Go ahead.
Do it. The more you have, the more that you make it easier for people to make money outside of what you really need people to do, which is take care of people and so forth. So, for example, the fact that she can make more money on TikTok, like, it's a symptom, right? More and more people are going to be like, well, why would I want to go practice medicine when I can fake practice online and make a lot more money? Right. Okay. So what I'm saying is that this is basically, you're just attracting more and more people to literally be doctors on social media, which to me is not as useful as someone being a doctor in real life at this point. Okay. That's how I feel. Okay. Right. So you already have like a bunch of people, like I've looked at on YouTube and stuff like that. There's a bunch of people who are quote unquote like med school doctor influencers, like who have left medicine. Right. They don't want to finish school because they're realizing that they're making more money doing YouTube and so forth. That's not, I don't know if that's in essence identifies the essence of the real issue. They probably just see dollar signs and like, look, I'm just better off as a creator than as a in med school. But I'm talking about someone who's like gone through residency, has like taken care of people, have gone through the whole process of getting credentialed and certified, and then all of a sudden just like, well,
to be clear,
I don't want to do this.
She still practices.
She still practices.
Right. Let's be clear on that she is not somebody who doesn't practice medicine.
Correct.
She is still practicing. So we're not talking about her specifically. We're talking about the ability for someone
I'm
to
talking
be
about the system. I'm talking about
the ability.
The system, the fact that could occur is a problem, right? And I think that what you'll see is more and more people, a significant amount of people online instead of in the hospital.
Okay.
That's what I get nervous about. And I think that's what society should be concerned about. I'll leave it to you like that.
Well, society is not concerned about that, because if society were concerned about that, then they would actually be doing things to help doctors be lucrative in their lives as clinicians, which our society has said that they don't want people to be subsidized, right? They don't want doctors to be subsidized. Why they got to be subsidized? Because they X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. So at that point, it's a free-for-all. Right? It's a free-for-all to say, listen, if we live in a capitalistic society, then I can make money doing whatever I want, no matter what my education is, right? And so we see this in the profession of law, right? We see this in the profession of law. So, lawyers aren't always litigating. Lawyers aren't always, the ones, making sure that people are advocated for, doing contracts and all these kinds of things. Lawyers work in lots of different ways. And so now the medical profession has finally caught up and said, listen, we don't just need to be in the clinics.
Well, I think
we can still take care of people, right? To some degree, without necessarily having to put our hands on them or seeing them in, some clinical fashion.
Well, they're already saying that. I agree with you there.
Right.
Basically what I'm saying is the traditional way in which we in general, not me and you as doctors, but we in general look at doctors, that's going to change significantly.
Oh, of course.
Right? Because expecting a doctor to be attached to a clinic or attached to a pager or
attached to a patient.
Or to be, that's what I was about to say. Yo, you hit it right on the point. That's what I was about to say. To be attached to you.
Right.
Even though they take oaths and all these different things, they're not attached to you anymore, right? This is a lot to do with the state of our healthcare system. I think that's a problem. You have corporatization of healthcare. You're gonna see a lot of doctors, or there are a lot of doctors who are just like, I'll just get paid for my knowledge,
Without the liability.
my clinical acumen.
Without
you know?
the liability.
So, for example, what's that lady's name? There's a lady. What's her name? Dr. Casey Means or something like that. We never even talked about that. This is the lady who she went to Stanford. She's like in charge. I forget what she was. She was being. What's the word? She was being. I gotta look her up.
Deposed? Did she?
No. She was being nominated for a position in in I think the Department of Health.
Okay.
Or Department of Human
I know who
Sciences.
you're talking about.
She's the one who'd never finished residency.
Yeah, she didn't finish residency.
She went to Stanford.
Yes,
and so forth. And then she's going to be in charge of policy. And it's like, wait, hold on a second. Like, this is a major problem, right? Like, I can understand if she went afterwards and was doing all this public policy work. She's not, right? She's just going on podcasts and talking about how the healthcare system is failing people. And it's like, well, if you're not participating in it,
aren't you part of the failure?
You're part of the problem, right? You're part of the problem. So
Well,
I don't
then that's why she qualified, because she knows she's part of the problem.
No, like, this is different. Like, I could understand if you're doing stuff actively to change it. All you're doing is podcasting about
She's
what
creating
the
problem, so she knows what the problem is.
But that's another issue. It's like, okay, but you're this lady, she couldn't hack it, right?
Right.
She couldn't hack it, and she said it. She couldn't hack it. She couldn't hack it in residency.
Yeah.
So she doesn't know how residency goes.
Right.
Then she's not practicing. So she doesn't know what it's like working with insurance companies, working with patients, having a clinic or not having a clinic, working in a hospital, not getting reimbursed. And then, like, now you're saying, well, the problem with the healthcare system is we don't know about nutrition and all these different things. It's like, wait, what? Slow down. Right? That's the part that I have. Like, it's like we're creating a system of, like, people who are experts, but they're not really experts.
Correct.
Right? So that's the things, like, so people are going to be.
But when you live in this type of society, right? Society makes its own rules, right? And each society can be, very different. It has different values and different principles and a different vision, right? And so the people who run your society, the people who run your country, for example, are the people who determine what that vision is, what those values are, regardless of whether or not there are people within the society who have different values. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, the only people's visions and values and principles that actually get executed are the people who run your country, the people who run your society, right? And everything else is just a little silo, right? Everything else is just a little silo. So you might have a little community here. Oh, this is what we value, and this is what it don't matter, because you live in a society, you live in a country where your values actually don't matter. So within your little community, that's cute, and that might work for you for a little bit, but that's not going to be as long lasting as if you were actually running your society. So right now we live in a place where experience doesn't matter.
Yeah, experience doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Is healthcare going to be able to attract, like, the best and brightest in, like, 10 years?
Clearly, it doesn't matter. You got Linda McMahon. You got freaking RFK Jr. You got this. What's her name?
And then
whatever her name is.
Folks are.
It don't matter.
Because now, and then you throw on top of this the student loan issue. You'll have people who are just saying, like, well, why am I going into this field? Right? I'm not going to be able to afford it. I'm going to have to go into a lot of student loan debt. That student loan debt, I'm going to have to be begging off a lot of people, right? It's not even just debt to, like, a federal debt. It's going to be private loan debt. It might even be some hard money that you have to get from people, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of disillusionment that's going on. And I think that more and more people are going to go to bigger and brighter. If you see something that's bigger and brighter, something that's fancier, I'm out. That's what people are going to do.
I think that is true.
But these are the things that I think I wanted to talk more about last week that I think we skipped over. So I was listening to the game tape because I think it's important. You know me, I don't listen to game tape, but now I've been listening to game tape more, and I'm like, I could have done a better job of making our point right there. So
yeah, I think that is true. That people are going to look to other either professions, or they're going to look to other means of making income. And I think it's going to work for them. I mean, frankly, I think it's going to work for them because it's working, it's working for people right now. What my concern is always that, especially when it comes to the medical profession, there are people who are very, very, very impassioned by the possibilities of the impacts that they can make in different communities through medicine, right? And I was talking to a mentee about this yesterday, and I think it's going to seem strange that I'm transitioning to this, but there's a reason. And
I hope you're not trying to get serious on this.
yeah, this is serious. So I was talking to my mentee about this yesterday, and it was in a different context, but I find that it applies here, is that there are a lot of people who are really passionate about being in medicine. And when they can't be in medicine, like you said, they get very disillusioned, right? Or if they do get in medicine, they get very disillusioned as well.
Okay.
Right? What I think we need to also be careful about, especially as we have pre-meds, medical students, residents, watching and listening, is that don't set yourself up to really have a mindset that you are going to save the world by becoming a doctor.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Like, speak on that, man. I'm like,
right?
I feel like you're like doing like I have a dream speech.
You're not.
That's what I'm talking about. Say something.
You're not gonna. You finished?
Yes, go ahead.
You're not going to save the world by becoming a doctor.
Okay.
Right? You're probably not even going to save your entire community by becoming a doctor, right? You are going to, give value to some people's lives in terms of their health care. You are. You might actually save some lives. We save you, obviously, as a trauma surgeon. Right?
I actually am the one who's saving lives up in this mug.
Well, but you also lose a lot of people. So
no, I don't
it's
actually.
Give and take.
No, I don't. The percentage is low.
Oh, yeah, because those people don't make it to you?
The percentage is low.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
So those people don't make it to you. So
listen, you're not in a position. Listen.
But anyway,
someone who's scared to go to the ICU, you do not have. You are not.
You're damn right. I don't want to go to the ICU. Why do I want to go
have
there?
the position to critique me.
Why do I want to go to the ICU?
Come on now.
Reason?
Come on now. Don't even step into that.
Anyway,
anyway, you over here making fun of people.
Oh my God, let me finish.
You over here making fun of people about not replacing potassium. Do you even know how to replace potassium?
I replace potassium need.
Oh yeah, trying to tell me about people who live and die.
Listen. So save you. Most of us as doctors are not saving lives. Most of us. Okay? Many of us, probably most of us, are helping people to maintain their health if we're lucky and they listen to us. Otherwise, they go to TikTok and they listen to doctors. And maybe they will take those doctors more seriously so that when they do.
And those doctors be having an agenda. A lot of them have an agenda. So,
but maybe that will help them. Maybe that will help our patients, especially if the information is good. Maybe that will help our patients to take us seriously, because you know how it is. Sometimes you got to hear another party say something before you believe the party who you actually hired or you invested in.
I think you're going to wrap it up.
Whatever.
All right,
so anyway, the point being that I think we need to, and this goes into what we talked about before, we need to kind of get rid of that hero complex. That we're going to save the world. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Listen, you're going to do as much as the healthcare system is going to allow you to do. And you don't control that.
Gotcha.
You don't control that. So you have to control your mindset and understand that you are not here to save the world. And so if you can't get into medicine, if you can't get through medicine, it is not the end of the world. There are other things that you can do. It is not the end of the world. It is not a reason to go off the deep end.
Okay.
So,
all right, we got you on that one.
That's all I want to say.
If you guys are interested in what we have to say, if you have an opinion on what we got to say, go to the show notes. You can leave us a voice message. You can send us a text message. You can even hit us up on Instagram at Docs Outside the Box. Is it a podcast or just Docs Outside the Box?
On Instagram?
Yeah.
Just Docs Outside the Box.
Docs Outside the Box. All that stuff is in the show notes. Listen, we got so much to talk about, but we're going to have to put that on another episode. I got another meeting I got to get to. We love you guys. And the algorithm says that you guys don't listen all the way to the end. So we catch you guys on the next one, y'all.
Well, now that we're doing segments, I think they do listen to the end.
Peace. I love y'all.
Bye.